Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the human training your dog is begging for. If you are needing help understanding your dog and their behaviors, you've come to the right place. We are Charles and Laura Countryman, co-founders of Canine Culture Dog Training, and as always, we're joined by lead trainer, co-owner of Canine Culture, Julie. Good morning.
Good morning.
And senior trainer and head of evaluations for dogs, and also co-owner, Wyatt.
Good morning.
Everybody ready?
Yes.
All right. So if you struggle with your dog, and particularly if you struggle walking your dog, 92% of everybody that we train, or every dog we train, that is their biggest issue, is leash skills. If that's something you're struggling with, or maybe you're just needing help understanding your dog, you have literally come to the right place, because today we are going to be talking about who is walking who. You may be, this may be real personal to some of you listening. How to make your walks more enriching for your dog and more enjoyable for yourself. There's nothing worse than having your dog walk you.
That is correct.
It sucks. I mean, it's frustrating. It's embarrassing. It's uncomfortable. It can be painful.
If you have a large dog, it's not fun at all.
And it's freaking dangerous if it's a large dog, because they can get away.
Or if it's a small
they can hurt
dog,
you.
they may not be pulling, but they might be running around your legs.
Yeah, see, I think that's where a lot of people, well, I only have an 8-pound dog. So they let their dog get away with bloody murder on the leash because it's not physically uncomfortable because their dog can't pull them over. But you nailed it.
Yeah.
The dog is a spaz on the leash and trips them.
Yes.
Because you don't want to crush your dog by stepping on them, or they get the leash wrapped around your foot and down you go. More people get hurt by little dogs with bad leash manners than big dogs because they're trying not to step on their dog and they fall down. So that is what we're going to be talking about today, and what are some things that you can do to help. So is leash skills important?
Wyatt.
Are leash skills important?
Well, they're probably one of the most important obedience things you can do with your dog. I mean, you have to put them on a leash to take them outside in general.
Unless you live out in the country where you never take your dog anywhere and your dog is just an outside dog. Well, even inside, outside, but literally you never take your dog anywhere. Then I agree. Other than recall, leash is the most important. Yes. I think recall is the most important command.
Yes.
Recall is. Yes.
Wow, all of us. And we hadn't prepped this. And that don't, even if you're on a farm and a ranch, recall.
Yes.
Think rattlesnake. Think rattlesnake.
We're not talking about recall, but I'm training a dog now that's 1.5 years, and the owners play chase games with this dog. Off leash recall is going to be a
nightmare because
to train him, because
the dog's been taught to run away.
Yes.
It's a game. That's frustrating. Yeah. So leash skills number 2, we'll talk about that on an upcoming one on the most important ones. But I think you all just got a glimpse of the most important one is recall. Yeah. I could care less if my dog will down if I can't walk him.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I could care less if my dog won't sit if I can't walk him.
Yep.
Because I don't want to walk him.
Yeah.
Who wants to? It's like Laura and I'd look at each other. It's your turn. No, it's your turn. Who wants?
I feel like it's the number one problem that owners will come
Here for
It is.
us
Yeah.
for is their inability to walk them, or to walk them politely, or if they have a dog that's reactive or a dog that is stressed, whatever the case is. The leash skills is typically the one that they lack. I noticed also that here is what we go over in all our first lessons is leash skills, along with obviously all the other basic things. So if you don't know how to handle your dog when they're on lead, like, you're not going to be able to handle your dog off leash.
Yeah, that's true.
So
You nailed it. People will come in, well, can you teach my dog to do X, Y, or Z off leash? If your dog can't do X, Y, or Z on leash, they have no business being off leash for that. What miraculously they know how to do it better off of a leash. Yeah, that's insane. And you're right, we do spend the majority of that first lesson on leash skills, not necessarily even walking your dog and teaching your dog how to walk. We've already taught that to your dog. Now we're teaching you how to properly handle the leash.
Yeah.
So most people just do not know how to hold a leash. They're trying to use their fingers or their hand to control their dog. Your dog's more powerful than the muscles in your hand. So some people will use their hand and their arm. Your dog's more powerful than your hand and arm muscles. You need to hold the leash so you can use your entire chest and back muscles if they lunged.
The worst is when they wrap it around their arm.
Oh God,
Around
yeah.
their wrist.
Yeah. Don't
hold it behind their back doing weird stuff.
Don't attach yourself to your dog because there's going to be some event in your life where you need to let go of the leash for your safety or your dog's safety. You wrap that leash around your hand. Nope, you're going down. You're in front of the car. Whatever happens, you're in it to win it now, and you're about to get hurt.
And that's even our personal dogs. George, 10 years old, walks beautiful on and off leash, but there's a squirrel or something that he decided, F you, I'm going to do it.
And it's a split second. Yeah, dogs will be dogs.
It's not normal to think that they're going to have impulse control the entire
rest of their life.
Because we don't.
I don't. I'll eat brownies until they're all gone.
Yes, exactly.
Or someone will yell at a car driving by that he doesn't think should be doing that.
Well, they shouldn't be doing that, so they need to be yelled at. It's called a turn signal.
Control definitely goes away with
Yeah.
So we can expect a little puppy dog for their whole life to be good.
Oh, yeah.
Robot dog.
I call it the golden squirrel.
Yes.
The golden squirrel.
Every couple months.
There's just that one squirrel that they gotta have. And I think where a lot of people fail to grasp is leashes they're abnormal to a dog. There is no dog in the wild that's ever had a leash put on them.
Yeah, right.
And if you look at it from a different perspective, so we're like, well, all dogs have leashes. Well, they weren't born with a leash. Think of it if you've ever had horses, putting a bridle, a bit in a horse's mouth the first time. That horse is like, what the freak are you trying to do to me?
It's like a 2-week process.
Yeah, it varies, but that's abnormal to a horse. But I think we all kind of give the horse a little more slack because we know we're shoving some steel object in its mouth.
Yeah.
So we're more patient with the horse when we're teaching the horse how to take a bit.
A horse can also, kill you quite easily.
Yeah, they could.
They get a lot more respect than
But if you approached your dog with that same understanding or empathy, that I know this is just weird.
It's why most puppies, you put a leash on it just shuts down.
Yeah, or they bite it and they pull on it.
They turn into crazy horses.
They literally do not understand it, and they'll either play with it or fight it.
Yes.
But then to add to that is also what the leash is attached to, right? Like the different sort of things that owners think will help their dog, like harnesses and things.
Yeah.
That also makes it.
So save that one because I want to. When I say, hey, you had a thought, I want to circle back to that one. I think the easiest way to teach a dog, just put the leash on and let them drag it around the house.
Yeah.
Just get them used to having the damn thing on first.
When they're babies,
And if they chew it, get a cheap one. So who cares? It was $1.25 at the dollar store.
Cut the loop.
Cut the loop off.
So it can get stuck
under everything that it slides around, and just let it drag it around. Okay, now it's not a thing.
Yeah.
Now, what would we do next? Start teaching pressure?
Yeah.
Leash pressure?
On some short little walks in the backyard, around the house.
I wouldn't even do that. I would do it right in the living room. I give a little tug towards me. You look at me. Yes, treat, pat, whatever. We're going to make it fun. Yeah. So anytime you feel a little pressure, it means look at me.
You should probably say their name first, then the little leash pressure.
Yeah.
Name recognition. Yeah.
We could be here for 3 hours if we tried to teach leash pressure. Yeah. But I'm trying to give you a little tip of really quickly, let them understand that if there's some tension, it means look at me. A leash is really, we go over this in the lesson. A leash obviously keeps you legal. You're technically required virtually everywhere to have a leash on your dog. It keeps your dog from running away. And I think that's where most people stop. Those are the two I could care less about. Yeah. What it really is a communication device. It's how I communicate through the leash with little imperceptible 2-finger tugs or taps to get my dog's attention and focus away from something or on me. And then the next one is decision-making power. the more leash I give my dog, the more decisions he's allowed to make. The more bad decisions my dog's making, the less slack I have in the leash to let my dog make decisions. So now I'm helping my dog make the right choices and decisions, right?
Mhm.
And, I'm not explaining this to you. We all go over this in our lessons. So now that you're starting to teach your dog leash pressure, now we'll circle back to what you said. I remember, Julie.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Now, what do you attach that leash to?
Yes. Well, that is the question, right? What are you attaching your leash to, and why is it that you think it works? Because
And why do you pick that?
yes,
Yeah.
why did you pick that? I think a lot of the owners that come here, they have a harness, either the one that's right in the front of the chest, or the one in the back.
Where the leash attaches to the front of the chest, or the leash attaches
like
to
there's-
basically
there's so
between the
many
shoulder
different
blades.
harnesses, but at the end of the day, to me, a harness is meant to increase pulling, no matter what.
That's why it was built. That's why it was invented, is for
Like, you
pulling
think back
dogs
of
to pull a load.
Huskies and things like that pulled sleds and things. That's literally what they were invented.
You put a harness on a dog and pull against the back of the harness.
They're going forward.
It's oppositional reflex.
Yes.
The dog is going to pull against it.
Yes.
It's also DNA. They've been bred forever.
They're just absolutely going to pull against it. So
Right.
it boggles my mind when people come in with a harness and go, "My dog pulls." Yeah, because you have a harness on it.
Sled dogs, hunting.
No,
dogs.
absolutely.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
first one I can think of.
Yeah. And they're good. What's good for harnesses is teach drive. So you're restricting them to go forward.
You're creating some intentional frustration.
I'm glad you said that, because I do want to say I think there are definitely purposes to use a harness.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, especially if you're at a point where your dog is
On point.
trained,
Yeah.
they know exactly what they're supposed to do. Put a harness.
Put a
on your
harness
dog
on if you like
want
it.
to.
Yeah.
don't
I tell people you could put an ankle bracelet on him after he understands how to walk on a leash properly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really, the equipment at that point don't matter.
Yeah.
How people are screwing up is they're putting the wrong equipment on at the start. And
Yes.
yeah. So
Gentle leaders.
down here, where was I going with that? With the harness. Back to what are the functions of leash? Be legal, keep my dog from running away, communicate with my dog, and give my dog decision-making power. So communication, if it's with a harness, depending on where that harness is snugging up at that moment in time, I'm not giving clear communication to my dog. So it's almost impossible to communicate with your dog because I'm not giving the same communication, because different body position with a harness means different tension in different locations. Now it could be on his rib cage instead of his neck.
Yeah.
Harnesses,
It could be lower back.
they destroy communication. They make communication very unclear. That, I guess and clarity is crucial in dog
Well, the
training.
problem is a lot of people, their dogs train them. I make choking, dying noises. You give me more leash. You
Right.
put the harness back on me, which I just love because I got to pull.
Right.
Your dog's training you. You're not.
Your dog has now trained you. This is how I prefer to walk, and you're in it to win it.
I don't blame the dog either.
Yeah.
I would want to wear a harness.
And the reason is they haven't spent the time in the living room teaching the dog leash pressure, or get a trainer, obviously. And it's so important that that's almost all we do the first day a dog is in training is just work on leash pressure. Because if we can't get the dog to understand what the leash means and how to communicate with it, why would we go to the next step of teaching heel? The dog can't even walk on a leash.
Yep.
Why would we be into the heel mode? Or sit. I could care less if the dog can't sit or can sit if he's pulling me everywhere.
Yes.
Right.
So what's the other tools that people use? Gentle leaders.
Gentle leaders. Oh my God. What a misname.
Yeah, the one that goes over the nose.
That's where there's like a loop that goes over the dog's snout and
Pulls them to the right or left.
gently pulls them to the right or left,
Can you
which is
imagine if
not
your dog
true.
is running after a squirrel, and then their whole head is just
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
it. Your dog's gonna
So there's
stop.
nothing gentle about a gentle leader. It was just a really good marketing name. We have trained 2 dogs that I can think of right off the top of my head that have massive lifetime scars around their
More than
nose.
2.
Just 2 that I can think of from a gentle leader, because it wore their
Especially the short hair terrier, pit bull type dogs with little short hair, or like Dobermans.
Yep.
They're very sensitive to rubbing. It's another reason why harnesses are bad too, is they will rub their armpits raw.
right,
And all the fur
especially
off
if they're
that.
pulling. Yeah.
Yeah, because a harness for it not to come off, like the general leader, has to be tight
Correct.
Yes.
for it to actually be safe.
It's amazing how easy it is for dogs to get out of harnesses.
Oh,
When someone comes in with a human aggressive dog on a harness, I immediately tell them you need to I'll hand them a collar if they don't have one, say you put this on, then we'll go talk, because a German Shepherd got out of one, and luckily we were in the break room because he was so aggressive. I didn't feel comfortable having him out in the public. And he got out of that harness and came across the break room at me. Luckily, I was by the door, and I just stepped backwards, closed the door, and dogs can get out of harnesses.
100%.
Okay, what about flat collars, Miss Julie?
Flat collars? I mean, where do I even begin?
They're good for
And we're actually going to have a
They're great so
podcast
that you
on
can
tools.
Make your dog look beautiful.
and keep the ID on them.
It's a place to hang their ID.
Okay. Flat collars are good to be able to provide identification or the vaccines and things like that, sure. But to me, it's not a good primary tool to use, like if you go on a walk.
Yeah.
And that's the collar that you use. The flats are more prone to really hurting that throat right in the front.
Right at the trachea.
Yes.
What everybody's concerned about with the slip and the plum.
But we won't get into those. Spoiler alert: we have an episode on tools.
Okay, so we'll go back to
the good ones, the bad ones, and
A non-tool collar, in my opinion, the best one, because a flat collar is the best option. It should be a post-train option. It'd be a martingale collar.
Oh yeah.
or a variation of that. Sure.
Yeah.
But all right, so
Back to
you've
leash
got your
pressure.
dog that understands now what leash pressure is. There's a little tension. I either let go and stop pulling, or I look at you. Now we're finally going to get out walking on the street.
Turn a lot.
Be random.
Be random.
All right, here's where everybody's, me included, screws up. My dog's excited to go on the walk. And I start walking, he starts pulling me. Well, I've just trained him. This is okay. No, if my dog's too excited and is pulling me out to the sidewalk, we're not walking today.
We're not walking right now.
We're not walking right now. We're going to work in the front lawn until we can get to the sidewalk in a more calm and polite manner. And we'll just work the front lawn. You might be there 2 weeks before you ever get to your sidewalk. If you start your dog on a walk with the wrong amount of energy, that is going to be your walk. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to get maybe upset with your dog. And it's because you started wrong. You start with a calm, a state of calmness. Are they still going to be excited? Sure, but you're not going to pull me out to the sidewalk. And be random. Just work leash skills in your front yard. Or like you mentioned earlier, Wyatt, backyard. Teach the dog how to just walk with you. And again, who cares about the heel? The heel, unless it's competitive, I mean, we'll get into heel later. That's more a position of control. It's not a very enjoyable and enriching walk for your dog to be in a heel, because they're not even supposed to sniff in
I would say a heel is, I see the squirrel, let's walk by, the big distraction.
Yeah.
And then you go right back to go do dog stuff. But we're going to pass another dog.
I mean, it also depends on the dog. Like, there are dogs that definitely I would much rather they be in a heel than do literally anything else, because giving them that freedom will open up doors that I don't want to open. Like I can think of a dog, I'm not going to say dog's name, but like I can think of a dog that had that issue. And I just felt like if I didn't have that control of asking for, let's say, a 75% heel,
focus.
25% kind of loose leash, then he started just doing whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
That's a good point, because we do teach our dogs and our clients to do what we call structured walks. And that would be an example of a structured walk, right?
Yeah.
So explain what a structured walk is.
A structured walk is when you request the dog to be in a heel for a portion of the time, and then you actually release them so they can be in a quote unquote loose leash or just on a break in general, and be able to go out and sniff and do things and just not be in any sort of commands.
Yeah.
Because you want to allow the dog to be a dog. It's just that some dogs go too far.
Yeah, some dogs go
They
too far.
have not earned that freedom yet.
Yes.
And
Well, it's also, in my brain, when I talk about examples or stuff on this podcast, my brain defaults to like a black lab puppy. Easy, normal, calm, baseline dog. But if you have a Malinois,
Yes.
it could love healing.
Oh yeah.
They love it.
Yes.
You gotta
Yes.
really-
Because it's work.
yes.
And they're like, oh, yeah, we're working? Okay, cool. Let's work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
and
know your dog.
sometimes you might hear us say something and we're in the back of our mind thinking of a particular dog when we
Right.
might make a comment. So that is one of the tricky things about talking about dog training is we sometimes get a little tunnel vision because we're thinking about a certain dog or two. There's always an exception to everything we'll ever say.
Yeah.
I mean, holy cow.
Oh yes.
Always.
Training dogs is so hard, and training new people how to train dogs.
That's why it's hard to train a trainer how to be a
Yes.
trainer is because there's an exception to almost everything that comes out of our mouth.
Yes.
Because each dog is independent, each dog is unique, and each dog,
Yep.
even breeds aren't the same. I mean, because
Yeah.
every dog within the breed is
And
different.
then you get mixes, and you get rescues with trauma, and it all gets muddled up.
Then you got the emotional baggage. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, structured walk,
Awesome.
loose leash walk. My only rule is if you're in a loose leash walk, so that means I've given my dog the break command. That means they can walk ahead of me, walk beside me. They don't have to stay in a heel. They can sniff. They can explore. My only rule: you cannot pull me. If you pull, you come back into a heel for a few minutes. And that's it. That's my really, and don't be a freak. Don't run around me in circles and just don't be a spaz.
Oh boy. Like I have a dog, trained a dog that learned the loose leash, so it would not pull because it knew I was going to call it back. It would still bark at things, not a loose leash. So
Yes.
it learned in its brain how to get around it, but then it had to come back in a hill and be in
Well,
control.
dogs are smart like that. Like Pickles, back before he got neutered, was peeing on literally everything, and he learned jog up to the end of the 4-foot leash, and he would pee until I got walk 4 feet past him, and then he'd run back up and do it again.
Yeah.
He figured it out. I'm not. Dad doesn't want me to pull on him, but I still want to pee on everything.
So dogs, some dogs that are very smart figure to flail.
He's such a silly dog.
He is
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Pickles.
Goober.
So if you're walking your dog and you started the walk with too much energy, you're probably going to have a miserable walk.
Yes,
You got to
but
teach
you-
your dog to how to have the right amount of energy.
But you can turn that around too. You can start doing obedient stuff with them in the middle of a walk.
Oh, you should.
Yeah.
When I walk, I'll just randomly sit and stay,
Yeah.
and I'll walk 5 feet ahead and then come. I always do a couple commands throughout my walk just to make sure that my dog understands, hey, we still need to be in tune with each other.
Yes.
I definitely agree though that whatever sort of energy the dog has prior to the walk is going to relay in the walk. And for me, if I have a dog that is very energetic, I will use place to my advantage. Because
Yeah.
putting the dog on place, if your dog is at a stage in their training that they can get on place and learn to turn it off and just chill, then you can go ahead and start putting the leash on and go out. Your dog is going to be chill on your walk.
Correct.
That's one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of the owners go, are we going to go on a walk? Are we going to go?
Yeah, they get them all worked out
then they get
and
them
excited,
all
and then
right
they're
out. Yep.
Yes.
then they're frustrated because their dog's a nut job. Well, yeah, you did it.
Yeah. You just got him so stoked about going on the walk.
You
so.
you should start to walk very calm and bland, so your dog can read that energy and be calmer.
Yes.
They're still going to be excited.
Say is timeout, in my opinion, is one of my favorite things to work with dogs, especially puppies. But it's also because everyone says the emotions travel down the leash.
Yes.
So if you're calm, your dog will try and mirror you, or if you're hyper. Or on the flip side, if your dog's being a nutcase and you get angry,
Yes.
you're feeding that fire. It's
Yes.
Right.
being a problem. That's why I personally love timeout, because it's half for the dog, it's the other half for the human.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
Make you
take a minute,
and stay.
take a breath.
I'm gonna calm down.
Yes.
But
And-
when it's a puppy, you can't punch it in the face.
Wyatt.
No, your
Wyatt's never punched a dog.
I have not. But he makes you want to because they know the button to
Oh, yeah.
push
Yeah.
to get what they want.
They're almost like toddlers.
Yeah.
You know it's
Yeah.
true.
It
You know
very
it's
much
true.
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
But the timeout is
It
for,
works.
hey, we both need to take a
Yeah.
break, and we'll reevaluate. We'll
Yes.
try again.
Yes.
Like if you're just
Yeah.
before you even
You
get to
do.
your walk, and you're just trying to go out the front door, and he's losing his mind, go back in the door, make him sit
Yep.
With
down.
a good example of that is when we're dealing with people with reactive dogs. They get all worked up because they
yeah.
see another dog coming. The human. I'm talking about the human.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, guess what? The dog's all
Which
worked
is
up.
fair though, because they've had like however long
Experiences,
yeah.
experiences of
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So that's really with reactive dogs, dog reactive or human reactive. Just as important for us to teach owner how to calm down. Just take a couple deep breaths. Calm. You got to be calm if you expect your dog to be calm.
That's why group class is so important.
Yeah, to practice.
Untrain bad habits and untrain your brain to be scared of your dog or scared of other dogs when you have your dog. It takes a minute too.
So the interesting thing is, we all said earlier, could care less if our dog sits if they can't even walk politely on a leash, right? But now, because you kind of mentioned it with place and taking a break, now you kind of see, if you're listening, you'll kind of understand how obedience
plays a role.
In
exactly. Because obedience, to me, obedience is a means to an end.
Yes.
Our clients don't really want a competitive sit and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Most people don't. What they want is a well-behaved, well-mannered dog. Those are concepts. It's impossible to teach a dog a concept. So we use the thousands of pictures that the dog gets to learn through obedience to understand what manners look like, what good behavior, appropriate behavior looks like. So now we've taught them through obedience impulse control. And if your dog understands impulse control, all that ties together and makes your walk more enjoyable. But you got to let your dog explore a little bit too. And
Be dog.
enjoy the walk. Dogs, there's a great meme or mime or how it's meme, right?
It's meme.
Yeah. There's a great meme where there's a human and walking their dog and a little quote air bubble for the dog, just enjoying the nature walk. And then the human's thinking about work and thinking about this and thinking about that. Just enjoy the time. Just enjoy the walk with your dog.
Yeah.
Don't look at your phone while you're walking.
Just this training is just
be with your dog.
Be with your dog.
Go have fun with your dog.
Yeah.
Yay.
Unplug for 15 or 20 minutes and just enjoy a walk with your
The
dog.
hardest part about
Leave your phone at home.
teaching your dog's impulse control is teaching yourself impulse control.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
Not getting your dog all excited when you leave and all excited when you come home or excited before you go on a walk. It's all your own discipline is the hardest part about this whole thing.
Yeah.
Because dogs change pretty fast. If you let them.
They're like a little kid. Their attention span's 2-3 seconds long.
Well, like when we get dogs here, they basically have rules day one.
Mm-hmm.
So then the owner can't believe all the stuff. That's normal.
That's because we established rules.
But like Wyatt said, they have to go.
But now they have
rules.
They have a practiced behavior with their owner.
Yeah.
So when we bring the person back in, they're, oh my God, I can't believe my dog's walking that well. And then we hand their dog to them and they're like all jacked up. For one, their leash skills kind of suck, the human. So we have to work on that. But they have that practiced behavior of how to walk with their human. So we have to remind them, do not allow that. We got to show you drills you got to untrain how you've trained the dog to walk with you, because you have accidentally trained the dog how to walk with you. You've trained the dog to pull you.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Does it matter where a dog walks, which side?
No.
It doesn't. In dog training world, it's the left side for the heel.
You need to pick one at first.
Okay.
You just pick a left or a right and be consistent about that. But in real life, it doesn't matter. Everyone does left side, so you have your right hand free to do things.
I do think it's good, though, in the long run for your dog to understand to just walk politely on either side.
Yeah.
For a walk.
One,
Right.
Then you can teach them.
The only time
the
only time I care what side my dog's in is if they're in a heel command. Then that would have, to me.
I'm the oddball.
Oh, that's what I was talking about.
And to me, it doesn't really matter. Like, we'll train dogs to be on a right hand heel, but the owner has to specifically ask, hey, I want to walk my dog on the right, because in dog training world, it's the left hand side.
But my dogs, and George was the reason why, is Abby's a right side dog because George's the left side dog, and now Pickle's the left side dog. So I can heel them both at the same time, and I don't have two dogs on one side bullying each other.
Absolutely. And you can absolutely heel dogs on different sides, because we've done that. So we just have a different word for the right hand side.
Personally, us do,
For our personal dogs. We have a totally different command. It still means heel. It just means heel on the right hand side of me.
Yeah.
That way we're always providing clarity to the dog. We don't want them guessing which side to go to. That's just not fair to the dog.
You also want to not do that too early.
No, hell no.
You need to make sure your
Good
heel
point.
is perfect before you start changing it and confusing the dog.
Yeah, don't teach them two different heels, one on the left, one on the right, until you have
Otherwise,
the
they're going to try and also
yeah.
misbehave.
Yes,
There's no
because
clarity in that. Yeah.
And then you get a dog that's going to go on sides and down, then sit, then roll over. And you're
Yeah,
trying to figure out
that's
what you
that's
wanna
like teaching
do.
a dog to down,
That's
and
pretty
then
exciting.
after they do it 4 times, now you teach them roll over.
Or sits pretty.
You got the
Yeah.
treat out.
Plays
Oh,
dead.
yeah.
She would do in sequence like 10 treats once you open the cookie jar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Miss Sassy.
go through the whole
Hilarious.
repertoire of tricks.
So that's one reason you need to teach one thing at a time.
So if you are struggling with your dog and your walks are not that enjoyable and you need some help, reach out to us. We'd love to help your dog understand how to walk better on a leash. A dog that walks good on a leash can go places with you. A dog that walks good on a leash has a huge, big world. A dog that does not stays home a lot. Simple as that. And we'd like your dog to have a big world. So if you are needing help, reach out to us. We would love to be part of you and your dog's training journey. Next week, we're going to be talking no robot dogs.
Oh, I'm gonna miss
No
that
robot
one.
dogs. And if you're wondering what the heck a robot dog is, that's those dogs that are so overtrained that
They don't know how to dog.
they don't know how to dog, and they do not look like they're having fun.
They don't know how to
Now, there
do
are
it
some
right.
breeds that
Kind of need that.
kind of
but-
need that, but I think those owners a lot of times go overboard
Well,
too.
it's like some humans. Some people are crazy workaholics.
Yes.
They still need a break, though.
Yeah,
Even
you
though
still
wanna
have to.
work
Maybe
6
not
days
as
a week,
many, but you
that
still need
one
a
day
break.
off.
Yeah, you don't need a heart
Yeah.
attack.
So no robot dogs. A trained dog, yes. Robot, no. Dogs should be allowed to have fun.
Yes.
So hopefully if you pick something up from today's discussion about leash skills, and if you'd like to ask us a question, feel free to reach out to us on our website, k-9culture.com, or you can follow us on Instagram or Facebook, K9 Culture Dog Training DFW. Pick up some more tips or just follow the journey of a few dogs in our training program. And again, if you're needing help with your dog, we'd love to be part of your training journey. It really doesn't matter how far away you are. It just depends on how big your commitment is to driving here. We've had 2 clients from Las Vegas. That's a long ways from Texas. We've had other clients 8-9 hours away.
Yep.
So, it really just depends on, if we're the right fit for you. That's all it really comes down to. All right, so next week, no robot dogs. Trained, yes. Robots, no. Dogs should be allowed to have fun. And from all of us here, go have fun with your dog.